Hello everybody, how are you, my Flosstube family, and welcome to my Flosstube number 23. My name is Sabrina and I am Lady Marmalade in Stitches. And thank you, first of all, to all of my beautiful subscribers. Thank you for all the returning and new subscribers. I am truly grateful. It is really a special thing to think that people will come and watch you. So thank you very much. So what do I have installed for you today? Well, let's take a look. I have another giveaway. I have the winner of the last giveaway, and Old Whip Focus, we'll talk about how I went with that. Plans, I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 whips to show you that I worked on in the month of February, and how I'm doing with the No Buy 2025, Stitch Your Kindness, and a little bit more. So relax, sit back and enjoy. So let's talk about just a little bit about personal. Not that there is a great deal to say about the month of February. It was a fairly ordinary, quiet day. I've been feeling quite well, with the exception of yesterday, but today I'm fine. I babysat my daughter's dog, and I stayed at her house, and I did a lot of stitching on a particular project that I'll show you. Just the usual. So that's really all I have to say about February, so not a great deal. So let's move on. What I would like to show you are my fully finished, I'm having problems talking today, my fully finished objects. So the first one I'd like to show you is this cushion, which is from a Just Nan pattern, and that's the back fabric, just a very simple fabric. I made these as well. I followed a tutorial, and as you can see, now have I got this the right way? Yeah, it's a bit hard to tell. That's the way it should go. There we go. So if I bring it a bit closer, you'll be able to see that there are beads in these flowers. I use slightly larger beads there. That came with the pattern. Actually, I was lucky to have the embellishments. I had so much fun stitching this. It's just beautiful. Yeah, and I just wanted the tassels, something simple, because there was so much detail in the pattern itself. I thought, no, let's just make some tassels. So I made these up using a fork, believe it or not. So yes, I followed a tutorial. I'm really happy with that. So that's going to live up there as well. And you probably noticed there's a bit of a change up here. So that's new. So I'm going to be putting little small ornaments in there, and that's new as well. What I plan to do there is, after I finish my Mojo stitches on a low branch, I'm going to stitch her seasonal patterns, and they're going to hang up there. Each one of them are going to have all the seasons hanging up. I'm not changing it around. They're all going to be there. So that is a plan. That's my vision. We'll see if it works out. It doesn't always work out, but that's a plan. So I've just reorganized up the top there a little bit. So I fully finished. It was a start and a finish. It probably took me about 3 days to do this. Yeah, love that. Really happy with that. And that'll sit back up there. I might just pop that there. another finish I did was I finished the cover of the fungi book, and the instructions were great and it was so easy to follow. That's the back and that's the inside. So the fabric, so there was an embellishment pack that you could buy, which I did, because it actually has little metal corners, and I think it's like another tassel thing, I think like a bookmark. So I'm so happy with that. Really happy with how that came out. So just working on the pages, which I will show you because I have completed another page, and that will also sit up there. All right, moving on to winners. Now I still have one winner who hasn't contacted me, and this was for the bag and the brand new Mojo Stitches My Pin Pillow. Okay, so this one here still hasn't been claimed, and I'll just put up the winner here, and it's, her name is, so I'm just having a look here, Amanda Kerr 6152. So Amanda Kerr 6152, please contact me through email or Instagram. I'm fine with either. If I don't hear you by the next, just before the next Flosstube, which will be around the beginning of March, I'm going to be drawing a new winner. So you have until then. If I haven't heard from you, I'm very sorry, but I will be drawing a new winner. So hopefully someone else can claim this lovely bag and pattern. Now the next winner that I have drawn for the snuggle, I called it the snuggle pattern, is, and I'm going to put it up here as well, Marianne Johnson 5410. Marianne Johnson, please contact me and I will mail this lovely pattern out to you. So congratulations on that. Now I pulled out another pattern from the magazine, and from a really good designer as well, let me tell you, it's a really good designer. So it's called We Are Family, and it's modern folk embroidery from Jacob, and let me show you a photo. That's it there. It's beautiful, but I know I'm not going to stitch it. So if you would like to go in a draw to win this beautiful pattern by by Jacob, please put the word family. Okay, family, and I will draw this in my next Flosstube. It's open to anyone around the world. Just note that if you do live overseas, I will fold it in half to put it in a smaller folder to try and reduce the postage cost as much as I can. But I'm still happy to mail it overseas, as long as you don't mind that I fold it in half. But if you're in Australia, it doesn't matter. So that's another giveaway. As promised, I still have lots of patterns from my magazines that I would like to give out. All right, so let's go to my ALF, which is OWF, Old Whip Focus. I did quite well, I have to say. So I pulled this one here, which I still love. I just really haven't put a great deal of work into it, but I did. I put in, I would say, 3 stitching sessions on this, try to get as much as I can. And it's a Riolis 1032. I just call it Midnight. I've just made it up. So I started this in May of 2023. I'm just using the Ada that comes with the kit and the threads. The threads are 3 threads over each 8 square. And I have to tell you, I'm quite happy with my progress. So this is the bottom of, this is where her dress starts. So I actually stitched all of that and that. So that's what I've done. So I'm going to continue. I am going to stitch this month. I'm going to continue on her dress until I've completed all of that, as you can see. So I've done quite well. I'll continue on that. And once that's done, I'll start moving up. So that was my old whip focus. And it was really good just to pull it out and put some work in it. So as I mentioned before, I'm just popping the pattern back. I'm keeping it on the frame because I'm going to continue working on it for 3 months, as I said. I may even take it away with me. Excuse me while I just pull this basket over to pop it in. We are going away with our caravan early next week, so I'm deciding what I'm going to bring. Definitely Rosewood Manor, but there's going to be maybe the old whip focus or maybe just Rosewood Manor. We'll just see. I haven't decided, but once I'm ready to pack everything, I'll decide what I'm doing. The next whip I worked on was the Carnation Quaker by Stigardine von Windenberg, is probably incorrect. Now I started this in April of 2024. I'm using an 18 count country mocha. I'm using all the DMC with the exception of a Weeks Dye Works Red Rocks, which I substituted for DMC. I think it was 221. And I will chat about that a bit more because I had to make a purchase which was outside of my no buy 25 because I just needed some threads for this. I had run out of Weeks Dye Works Red Rocks. So what have I done? This is the very bottom of the pattern. Okay, so as you can see, it continues all the way up the top there. So I completed that. I finished the butterfly. I started the vase. I had started that, so what happened is I had made a mistake just here. I'd missed a line. And because I'm counting this off this, I had to undo this. I did quite a bit of that. So I had to undo that and then I just restitched some of it. So what I'm doing, I'm kind of going a bit here, a bit here, a bit here, a bit here, just to change it up. So it just keeps my interest going. So that's the very bottom here. So that's what I'm stitching. That's that red one and that's the vase, as you can, I'll try and stop the glare. So that's where I'm at. So I'm at the bottom. So I'll continue that until I finish the page. The page does stop about here. That's the page there. So there'll just be this vase with the flowers, this pattern, and a third of it carries on to the next page, but I will complete that entire Quaker just there. Loving the colours, still loving this. It's beautiful. I do enjoy it because it's good to work on Ada, especially when I am tired. Because believe it or not, when I'm tired or not feeling well, counting the threads on the linen or trying to see the threads on the linen is a little bit harder for me. So I do need to be wary of that, and yeah, stitching on Ada is just a little bit easier. I must remember to take it off the Q-snap because I can use that Q-snap for something else. So moving on, I also worked, and I'll leave the Q-snap in here because I do want to do another section. I might take this with me when we go away. Let's grab my board. So moving on from the book that I fully finished, I stitched another page. So I would like to be consistent and actually stitch a page every month. Just, you know, it doesn't take that long. So that's my plan. Oh, I just broke my clip. It can go in the bin. They don't last long. I find that they do tend to break. So I've done 2 pages so far. I've done that one, and this is the one that I stitched in the month of February. So that's 2 pages. There is a total of 8 pages. So what I might do is I'm going to start finishing these off and actually sewing them together rather than leaving it till the end. As I finish off 2 pages, I'm going to finish them off and sew them together. I've got all the completion, you know, the finishing details. So I thought that's what I was thinking. That's my thought, is to finish them off as I go so I can finish those 2 pages. I'll just bring it a bit closer. It's looking pretty good, I have to say. Loving that. Looking forward to finishing this book. I mean, I was so excited to get the cover done. And the cover really wasn't that difficult. I thought it may have been, but when I did it, I thought, oh, it's not that hard after all. So happy with that. So moving on, what did I do next? So this is, oh yes, Quaint Rose Needle Arts. I had so much fun. I did a lot on this, I really did. So, as you know, I went to my daughter's house and I had a lot of stitchy time. I probably took about 3 different projects, but I just stitched on this. Once I started, I couldn't stop. I was just having so much fun, and I was determined to get all of that completed, which I did. There was a lot of stitching, but I loved it. It's a Quaint Rose Needle Arts. I'll just pop this back in the bag because I don't want to ruin it. Okay, I'll pop this back in here. So let's take it out. It's stitched on 32 count linen. I'll get the details out. So I started this January. It was my New Year's start this year. And I purchased a fabric from No. 12 Stitch Co., which is an Australian fabric designer. And the darker fabric is a 32 count linen called Woodland Pine, and the bottom one is called Bondi. Now, if you're not familiar with Australian things, Bondi is actually an area close to the beach. So it's a sandy colour, so I think that's why she called it Bondi. So I'll just try and fit this. Now I only have 1 clip left, and that's okay. We make it work. Don't want to lose my needle because I was part way through stitching the tree and I packed it away because it was time to leave my daughter's house. So that is where I'm up to. I had stitched up to, see, that's what happens when you don't have two clips. I had stitched up to this beetle. So all I did is just a little bit of the black. That's it. The same with here. I stitched up to here. So what you see is everything from, this is going to be a bit difficult, sorry. So everything from here onwards and down here is what I did in the month of February, and that's a lot of stitching, so I probably stitched on it for a good 3 days, and I'm talking solid stitching really good solid stitching, and I'm really happy with that. That's come up so well, and I love the fabric. The fabric is, it's just beautiful to work on. I'll bring it up a bit closer. So that's it there. Isn't that beautiful? So now I'm going to trim this fabric now. I'm going to trim it, and I'll just zigzag the edges, because now I'm working on the bottom part, which is called Bondi. I'm going to start working on that. It's so pretty. Really, really pretty. Good progress on that. Because sometimes I may have time. I mean, I really always have time stitching because I'm just home anyway, but I don't always feel up to stitching. It depends on how I feel. That's the colour palette, as you can see. Beautiful colour palette there. So we'll pop this back into my bag. Made this myself. I love these folio bags. I think I may have mentioned last time that I've purchased some more fabrics. I'm going to make another 2 of these. I've got enough to make 2, maybe even 3, but I'll start off with 2. So that's what I stitched on whilst I was at my daughter's house. Moving on, the next one is Mojo Stitches on a low branch. This is where I try to be a bit creative with the colours. That's it there. Now, if you would like to see a finished version, if you go and visit Rosie on the Rocks, I will link her down below. She has completed this. I love her version of it as well. It looks absolutely beautiful. And if I'm correct, she's stitched this on a green fabric. So Mojo Stitches on a low branch. Excuse me while I pick this up. And I did quite well on this as well. Some good stitching on this. Once again, the fabric is from number 1 2 Stitch Co. Sorry, I'm just trying to wrangle my got my needle minder and my needle here, so I just want to make sure that I don't lose it. So I'll just I might pop the needle behind the needle minder so I don't lose it. So I did quite a bit here as well. I did want to keep going. So this is it here. And I basically have stitched all of that down there. So what I have now, there's another leaf on this page. This page isn't quite, the page finishes about there. There's another leaf, and then you've got the tail of this beautiful bird. And that's it. So these are the colours that I've chosen. As you can see, the butterfly is a slightly variegated Weeks Dye Works called Julian. And how do I remember? Because my son's name's called Julian. And this was a Karen Water Lily. It's just a slightly variegated. I just wanted the flowers to stand out from the rest of the green. So I'll bring it up a bit closer for you. And this is a 28 count. That's lovely to work on. And I love just that subtle variegation in that green. I had to buy some more of it. I thought when I originally purchased the green, I mean, sometimes it's hard to guess how big the pattern's going to be, but I had to purchase some more, and I had to buy the lagoon, and that's what I purchased. So now I think I should have enough to complete the pattern. I'm hoping maybe this next stitchy session I might complete it. Or 2, but this will be completed in soon. I mean, I might even take this, I know I keep saying I can't take too much away. I might even take this away with me and stitch on it. So that's an idea. I could possibly finish it while I'm away. We'll see. You'll know in my next floss tube. Okay, the next one I worked on was my Turkish Delight by Rosewood Manor. I show this every month because I'm trying to stitch a section every month to try and finish it. It's quite a large pattern, but it's a beautiful pattern and it kind of motivates me to stitch on it. So I started this in December of 2023. The fabric I'm using is an 18 count. Don't forget the Cranberries by River Hut Design on Etsy. I don't know if they're still dyeing, but you can certainly have a look. And the threads are all called for. I followed everything because it's just such a beautiful palette. And I finally popped these on these plastic hangers. What a difference, especially with the Weeks Dye Works. I mean, it took me a while. I thought I'm just going to sit down and do it because I had purchased, that's right, I'd purchased Weeks Dye Works for whatever I needed for my Rosewood Manors for the month of March for my Rosewood Manor March Madness. And whilst I was popping these on those Weeks Dye Works, I thought I'm just going to do it on here. And that's the colour palette, which is just gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. So I also thought I accomplished quite well. I decided to stitch in a slightly different area just to keep the interest going. And I really enjoyed this. So what did I do? And I'll bring it down here. I have stitched all of that. So I'm going to continue on that center panel. Isn't that beautiful? I'm going to bring it up close. Look at the colors. Wow, wow, wow. It's just so beautiful. There's a mistake here and it's right here. And the problem is, I don't know if it's a pattern because I know I have restitched that twice and it's off by 1 square, 1x, which means this side is off by 1 square. So I need to think about, sorry, I'm looking at the opposite. It's here. This side's fine. It's this side which is off by 1 square. So I need to revisit the pattern. I need to think about how I'm going to adjust this. Shall I just adjust it here and just bring it out by 1 because I can undo that. That's not too much work. Or do I just leave it and just fudge it all the way? So that's what I'm thinking at the moment. This side's fine, but over here, it's short. But the thing is, I know I count because what I do is when I count, I write down the number of X's on a piece of paper because I'm using a paper pattern for this. So that's something I need to kind of think about how I'm going to fix it because it's going to follow through right through. So I'm not too sure. I need to think about it. Do I just adjust it here and bring this out by 1, which means it won't be completely aligned? I mean, that would be a simple fix because this is already stitched. I had to make adjustments in there. So I could always just bring this out by 1 and that would just sort the problem out, which means this is out by 1, but I can easily fix that as well. I can fudge that quite easily. And is it really going to matter if it's out by 1? I don't think so. So, I mean, I might do that. I don't want to mess around with pulling too much out because most of it is fine. It really is. And if I didn't tell you, you wouldn't have known anyway. But that's kind of what I'm trying to fix. But at the moment, I'm going to complete that center because that duplicates all the way down. So let's continue on with that center. I mean, look at the colors. Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, Rosewood Manor. What can I say? Karen Kluber. She's a star. I know I say that all the time because she is. A bit like rock stars, we admire them. Next one is Mojo Stitches in the library. I started this August of 2024 and I am using all of the cottage garden threads which I purchased from them, and the fabric is Fibre on a Whim and it is called, let me see if I can read it, Cream and Sugar. Wasn't too bad reading it without my glasses. Okay, I've left it in the hoop. There's a mistake. I'm out. So I had to stop, which is why the thread's there. But I'll show you what I've done so far. Let's move this down. Okay, so I brought this down. I finished that book with the glasses. I did all of this. Yeah, all of this. Now, the problem is when I stitched the bookcase right across here and it's not quite matching up with the border. So either I have a mistake in the border or I haven't counted this properly. But it's an easy fix because I can quite easily, there's a couple of things I can actually just remove because I think I might be up by 1 or 2 crosses, X's. And I can actually quite easily remove a book and just shorten it. And you wouldn't even know. You would not even know if I show you. All right, so this is what I'm stitching. Let's try and stop the glare. All right. So this is what I'm stitching at the moment. And there's a couple of books which are only like 1 line or 2 rows going up and down. And I can shorten this to make sure it fits. But I'm going to recount it. And what I think I might do is I might actually bring this border down right up to here and see what the difference is. But looking at it, it's like, this is over too much. And it's like, what have I done? I'm not sure because I thought I counted it really well. And everything else seems to work out. So I think that's the only problem. So I'll leave the thread here. I'm not gonna undo anything. I'm going to bring this border right down and then I can see what the distance is between this shelf and the border. But I'm loving that. I mean, oh my God, it's so beautiful. And the cottage garden threads, I can't tell you how much in love with the threads I am. So in love with it. It's just beautiful. Oh, look at that. And it's not until you look at, you know, in the camera, wow. I can see the details in the book now. When it's up close, you can't tell. And the variegation is just, oh wow. That is so, oh, that excites me to want to stitch that. Oh, do I bring this as well? Oh, I don't know. I've got to stitch on Rosewood Manor. I need to think about which extra one I'm going to bring. I don't know. So, we'll see. We'll see. So that's Mojo Stitches. And my last whip. Oh, I am having so much fun. I know I sound like a record, I'm sorry, but this one's beautiful. Do I bring this? Oh my God, I don't know. Oh, help me, I don't know. So I think I better take it out of here. It's too glary today. I still have the sun kind of coming through this window. It's a beautiful long day. It's gonna be really warm. Blackbird design, and it's Winter Wonderland. I love this. Ever since the first time I saw it. It's just beautiful. So let's pop it away. Oh, my dog's decided to drag her bed over. At least she's not playing with this squeaky toy. I'm just going to bend over and grab the board which fell off the table. Sorry for my head, my big head. Okay, so you've seen a picture of it. And I did quite a bit of stitching because it's a type of thing when you enjoy something, you just want to keep going, and that's what it is. I just wanted to keep going. I got some good stitching in this. Let me show you where I am. I have completed the house. Isn't that just beautiful? I have finished this deer. I had to put the head in here so I could just make sure I didn't miss it. I finished the tree and I started on that. So what I would like to do now is actually bring this border to the bottom and start working that way there, now that the house is completed. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I'll need to get this framed properly. That house is just gorgeous. It just stands out so well on this fabric. And you're probably wondering, what type of fabric is this, Sabrina? Good question. Let me take a look. Oh, I need to give you some details. So, it's called Decrepit. It's a 32 count from number 12 Stitch Co on Etsy. I'm using all the cord 4 threads, a couple of the classic Colourworks. I'm just coming close to the camera. And Gentle Arts. 2 of them were substituted for DMC, but everything else is called for. So, oh, do you know what? I don't have a start date for this, but I know it's in another book, another folder. But let me show you once more. Let's admire this. See, I love that subtle mottling. You can just see it. Yeah, that's beautiful. Love it. Yeah, that'll be a framed piece, definitely. All right, let's pop this away because that's it for my whips that I worked on in the month of February. So, pop the threads away. Good idea. Okay, I don't need the board anymore, so that can go. So what have I got now? My plans for March, and so as you would know from my previous Flosstube extra, I'm doing Rosewood Manor Madness in March. There are several people joining me, which is wonderful because a lot of people love Rosewood Manor. You can stitch on anything that you've already started. You can start a new one. It doesn't matter. I have created a hashtag on Instagram, which will be below in the drop box below, and it's called hashtag Rosewood Manor in March. So if you'd like to join in on the Rosewood Manor madness, please do. Stitch on anything Rosewood Manor. I have started one, but I'm going to leave that as part of my March Flosstube. So I've started a new one. Now, let's see. How am I doing with my No Buy 25? I actually had to buy a pattern. Now, as I mentioned, when I did the Stickadine Von Rose Quaker, I had finished the Red Rocks, the Weeks Dye Works Red Rocks. That is all I had to buy. Now, this was before I decided to do the Rosewood Manor Madness in March. So I just needed 2 threads. And the thing is, you can't just buy 2 threads. It would be crazy. So I was kind of thinking, now what do I do? I am on a no buy. I really don't want a pattern, but I don't need anything. I don't need anything else. So I ended up buying a pattern just to bring up the amount that I purchased to make it viable for postage. So I ended up buying another Just Nan pattern. I love that. I'm going to definitely stitch that for Christmas. And as you can see, I have the embellishments as well. So yes, I stuffed up here, but it was kind of like I had my back up against the wall. I didn't know what to do. I needed the threads to continue on with my Rose Quaker, so I bought this. Okay, I like to be honest, that's what I've done. But let me tell you, the difference in the amount of money that I'm spending compared to last year is dramatically, let me say dramatically reduced. And I think in that itself is really, really good, a good achievement. So this is just because I just had to, yeah, I don't regret buying the pattern. It's a beautiful pattern, but I didn't really, really want to. All right, so what else did I buy? As you know, I purchased 4 smalls from 123 Stitch, and they're all Rosewood Manor because I wanted to do some small Rosewood Manors in March because I didn't have any. So I'm going to show you what I bought. Now this one's called One Person. As you can see, it's quite lovely. So I bought that one there. I bought Stay Close. That's also really pretty. My dog's found her squeaky toy. It's so funny. Hey Chica, did you find your squeaky toy? She's looking at me. Here she comes. And I might be doing, I think I'll be starting this one soon. It comes with the buttons. She's right at my feet squeaking her toy. Let me show you. She's right here. She's been groomed. Have you been groomed, my girl? She hasn't been well. What happened a couple of mornings ago as we were getting up from bed, she started to yelp and cry and go round and round in circles. So she's been off since then. She's gone off her food. She's not eating as much as she normally would. Yeah, that's okay. You go play with your toy. There you go. She's reluctant to jump up on the couch. She's just standing there. So something's happened in her body. So we're just keeping an eye on it. If she's still off her food by Friday, because we leave Monday to go away, if she's still off her food, then I'm going to have to bring her to the vet, just to get a look over. Took her for a walk this morning. She was fine, but she still hasn't eaten. So let's see. They're always a worry, aren't they? Because they're like family. All right, so going back to this one, Stars on a Pumpkin. Oh, I love that. So I'm going to definitely stitch this one. I just really like that one and turn it into a pillow. So that one, and I wouldn't mind stitching this one as well. Refresh your soul. That's another nice one too. All right, so that is what I purchased in the month of February. Even though I'm on a no buy 2025, I gave myself permission to buy the Rosewood Manor patterns, as my father gifted me some money because he's just a beautiful, kind soul, and does that. And you know, things happen in life and you come across some beautiful people. With my channel, I'm always meeting new people that are just so kind and so generous. This beautiful lady called Susie reached out and she said, I've got all these linens which I do not use. Would you like them? And she sent me a photo and it was like, oh yes, please. She mailed them to me. She wouldn't accept money for postage. Just amazing. So I'm going to show you what she sent me, and I didn't realize there was so much. Now I don't know what count they are, but I do have a ruler to help me count, so I can work out what size the fabric is. So this is a decent size too. So there's this cream one. There are 2 cream ones. There's this one, And this one is slightly different because it's got a different fill, and I think it's a bigger weave. So it's a lower count. I think it might actually even be a 28. Now this one's interesting. It's you can see it's see-through. I reckon it's almost like an 18 count, but it's a linen. It's just beautiful. It could even be 28. That's lovely. And this one here, I am almost thinking, I'm saying this without my glasses, that this could be a 36. Just looking at the weave. But I could be wrong. Once I measure it, I'm just going to attach a piece of paper so that I know what counts they are. Oh, this one's lovely too. Look at the blue. You've got the blue. This is also a higher count. I can just see by the weave. This is also a higher count. That's just a very off-white, I would say. Oh, and she's given me this. This is 26 count. I'll just take it out of the bag. I didn't realise it was in the bag, but I'll pull it out because it needs to come out anyway. And that's a 26 count in this lovely green. This is really good, even like for smalls, like for a pillow and everything. Chica's having a bit of a smell. Does it smell different, does it? She's having a good sniff, okay? But that's not all. She also sent me 2 bags full, 2 of these zipper bags. So, in this one, yeah, this is probably like a 32. There's that one there, which is like an oatmeal colour. There, oh, this one's lovely. I like this colour. And I would say this is like a 32. Let me open it up. That's a nice colour. It looks like about a 32. It's still going. And probably a 28. Just a creamy, like a creamy type of colour. And this one's a creamy colour. This is probably like a 32. There's that one. And that colour there, which is a kind of rose colour. Beautiful. And this is quite a big piece. And now this one here has a very interesting weave. It looks like it's a high count because I can barely see without the glasses. I can barely see the weave, but that's it there. It's like an olive brown. Yeah, I can't quite tell, but I'll just measure them, and it is kind of see-through. So this lovely lady Susie gave me all of these, sent them through. I am truly grateful from the bottom of my heart. It just, yeah, like I said, I film the YouTube because it gives me something to do. And it was interesting because I was having a conversation with another viewer the other day, and actually it might have been Susie. And the problem is that without the YouTube, I actually feel isolated. There's really no one else to talk to about cross-stitching. So not only do I enjoy doing the YouTube, it gives me something to do because I'm home, I show you what I'm doing, it inspires me to do other things. But it also means I get to meet people as well, and it's very important for me to be able to do that. And I'm sure there are people out there who are in the same situation where they are kind of isolated. There's really no one around them who stitch, or there isn't a group that they can go to and catch up, or depending on their life, you know, they might be too busy, kids, they don't have time. So there are many factors that can contribute to feeling a bit isolated. Well, I feel isolated. So I'm not saying everyone feels isolated, but I do. Because of my health, I quite often find it difficult to actually just get in the car and drive out. You know, going to groups. I mean, there's a group just in Ballarat, which is probably about 45 to 50-minute drive. It's just freeway, easy drive. But I can't even do that because first of all, I can't stay there all day because of my fatigue. My fatigue will catch up, and I will probably wake up and I may not feel well, and I'll just end up just missing out on so many. So it's really hard. I am booked in to go to a retreat in Ballarat, which is great. I'm going with a dear friend of mine, and that's really good because I will try to be there for the whole day, and hopefully I'll feel fine and I can be there for the whole day and mingle in with everyone else. So that's what I do. That's all I can really do anyway, which brings me to another question. I was thinking of organizing like an online stitchy chat. So, you know, creating my own account and setting up a time and date where people who do feel isolated can link up to this chat, and we can just stitch and chat. So, and mind you, you don't have to be isolated. You can just want to just catch up and meet people. It's just an opportunity for people to meet other people, really, and for me to meet other people and actually just have a Zoom call. So if it's something that you think you would like me to do, please let me know down below, email, it doesn't matter which way. I live in Australia, so it's going to be Australian time, Australian Melbourne time, and we're still in daylight savings as well, just to give you an idea. So, and you can tune in from overseas, it doesn't matter, it just means you need to work out what time it is there where you are. So if it's something that interests you, I would like to know if you're interested. And also, do you prefer weekends or weekdays in the evening? I'm fine, I'm home, I'm flexible, I can do either or. It's just a good idea to see if there are people interested and what time and what day of the week is suitable. You know, I mean, we can do weekend during the day, we can do weekday in the evening if people are working. It's fine. So if you're interested in Zoom calls, I'm happy to set it up and organize it. Let me know. And yeah, let's just meet each other and chat and talk about this beautiful hobby, which brings me so much happiness as it does to other people. I love it. I love it. I keep adding to this room, and my partner said, you know, this looks like a storage room for cross stitch. That's okay. I love my room. This is my room, and this is how I like it to be. So that's it for this Flosstube. I want to thank you for tuning in. Take care. Look forward to what happens with the Rosewood Manor Madness in March. I'll see you at the beginning of March. Until then, take care. Bye.